Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Miss Manda Christelle. Yeah. Today is my hair session. Yeah, you can see my hair is natural. I just kind of covered it with this beret, and we are in August. Actually, today is the 1st of August. The day I'm recording this is the 1st of August, and it is my birth month. So I have to do my hair. I have to look good. We really need to be looking melanin and popping, you know. That was an aside. So today, as you can see from the caption,
Story time.
yeah, so today it's about telling you my story about my driver's license. You all remember I had told you in my previous videos the procedure, how it goes. You start by having the written test. When you pass the written test, you have a learner's permit. You use your learner's permit in order to start learning how to drive on the American roads with a licensed owner sitting beside you, so you can learn to have a good mastery of riding in American roads. So you know all of that. If you haven't watched those videos, which are preliminary videos before this one, you have to watch it. So don't forget to check among my videos, and you will see all of those prerequisites before, you know, what you're supposed to do, your best way you're supposed to study in order to take your written test and pass without taking it so many times, and all of that. Just check in my playlist and you will find all of that there. So today we'll be talking about my experience of taking the drive test. Yeah.
So without further ado,
Let's get into it. So as I'd informed you in my previous videos, this is how it works. After you've practiced and you feel like you're comfortable, you can take your drive test. What you're supposed to do is, it's either you go to the DMV department, that is Department of Motor Vehicles, or you go online to their website and you put your information concerning you wanting to take the drive test. So when you put that and everything, they ask you your day you want to take it, the time and stuff like that. At times there's availability of the days that are open, because so many people are out there to take their drive test. So some days can be very busy, so it can be closed and they don't have availability. So when you are ready, make sure you go to the website immediately so you can pick available dates as early as possible. So I went to their website when I felt ready. I felt like, yeah, I've already been learning with so many of these people who have been teaching me, and I've been driving by myself, as you saw in my previous videos where I gave you my experience of driving by myself for the first time without a license. Yeah, I was driving just with my learner's permit. Don't forget to check those videos, because you really have to check those videos if you are new and you want to start driving by yourself, you want to take your drive test, you want to take a written test. All of that, I've given you tips that you will not regret watching my videos, so don't forget to check that. So as I went to their website, I picked a date and time. That day, I barely slept. I always barely sleep when I have something that is coming ahead of me and which I know is important. I'm awake, kind of meditative about it, like praying and thinking about it. I barely sleep deep. So the first time I had to take my drive test, I had an appointment on July 6th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. So there's this my very good friend. He was one of the people who were teaching me how to drive in American roads. So since he was the one who taught me the most, he felt I was ready. He told me, yeah, you can do it, so place the appointment and I will go with you. So this morning came after feeling all anxious and, you know, meditative and barely sleeping the night before. I got up that morning, I drove to his house, picked him up, and we went to the DMV. You have to go there like at least 30 minutes before your time you're supposed to take the drive test. You know, if you have like 8:30 for your drive test to start, it's America. They respect time to the least of it. So make sure you're there like 8 a.m. if you're having your drive test by 8:30. So I drove to his house like about around 7:30. I picked him up and we went to the DMV. It was like 8. The reason you need to go to the DMV as early as possible, like 30 minutes ahead or 45, is because they have to do some formalities before you actually go out driving. So when you're there, they have to take your information. They have to do visual checkup. They have to take a picture of you and all of that, That's why you need to go early. So when I got there and all the preliminary stuffs were done, they give you a number to just sit and wait for your time. So when this instructor came out and was like, Manda, or called my number, I was like, let's go. My heart started beating. I felt nervous. I was so nervous. I was really nervous. I really felt like you could see my heart beating. You know how you watch animes, like cartoons, you see this heart coming out and making like that, right? That's how my heart was beating. People just couldn't see it. I just tried to keep my cool. When you're nervous, you're advised to like take a deep breath, breathe, so that you can calm down. Let that nervous state like to help you relax. But it wasn't going anywhere because I hadn't started. It was rather intense. I tried hard. I was really trying hard to breathe. But no, I still felt my heart beating hard. Like I was so nervous. When you're out, they will have to check if your brakes are working, if the basic things in the car are working properly. We got into the car, and when you still get into the car with the instructor, he has his machine where he puts instructions there and you are asked to listen. I will show you that on my second time when I am driving, because I tried to record that part, like to record the second time I went for my drive test. Like I kind of feel like I will have it. So I tried to record that. I don't know why I didn't record the first time. I can't tell. I was just so nervous because it didn't even come to my mind. I was just so nervous about the drive test. So the idea of even recording myself, and then he's like, everything's fine. I'm like, yeah. So he said, okay, you back out of the parking space and we're going to drive out. Even that morning as we were going there, just to park in the parking space at the DMV department, I parked wrongly. I was just so nervous about that day. It's your first time taking something. Even though I had already started driving by myself to work and forth and stuff like that. But that day, when you have this thing in your mind that you are taking something, it's a drive test, you have someone monitoring you, it's for a purpose. And it was my first time. So I really felt so nervous. So as I was trying to park when we got there, and I remember I told you I was with this my very good friend. So he actually said, leave the car, I will park it, just go right there and do all the formalities and you come when the car is well parked. And make sure you work on your parking, because this parking, I don't like it. You don't know, this thing can make you fail. Be careful. I'm like, yeah, I'm just so nervous, but I'm cool. I'm keeping my cool. I'll be fine. So okay, we came, the car was well parked, everything was done, and when we finished listening to the instructions, he said, okay, you back out of the parking space and we'll go to the left. I said, okay. So I backed out correctly. Now we're going out. There was a stop sign. I stopped, but beside the stop sign there was a sidewalk, so I had to stop before the sidewalk and then proceed again towards the stop sign and stop for the second time. But I didn't pay so much attention to the sidewalk because I glanced and there was no one coming. I just went directly towards the stop sign. So that was already one fail. Yeah, I'm saying this because I didn't notice it there, and there it was at the end that this instructor told me that. So yeah, we left. He said you can turn right. We turned right. That was good. We went. And when you're there, he's just giving you instructions like, when you arrive at this place, you turn like this. When you arrive at this place, you turn like this. When you arrive like this, you change lanes and stuff like that. He's just follow the instructions. That's all. Simple. Remember, they are not telling you follow the speed limit, stop where you're supposed to stop. No, the only thing he's to tell you is change direction, change lanes, go left, go right. Next there, you turn like this. That's all he does. So all the other signs on the road, it's up to you. So he won't tell you, oh, the lights are red, stop. No, you have to know the lights are red, you have to stop. So you have to know all those things. You have to know all the signs of the road, everything. He's just directing you like where we are going to. That's all. But you make sure you're the one who has to respect all those things without him telling you that. So yeah, we were driving. I was respecting all of those things. Now we arrived somewhere. He was like, at the intersection ahead, take left. So we arrived there. Me to take the left, took the left correctly. But what happened? It was a one-way of 4 lanes. So when you're turning left, make sure you are on the first lane on the left. What did I do? I actually entered, like I turned and I entered into the second lane on the left. That was already the second point. We kept going. I felt it, I knew it, and I saw him jotting something, and it made me the more nervous because I'm like, this man has noticed this thing. I have made this error. I know I have made this error. So I started focusing more like on my error. Like I started getting more nervous, and when you are so nervous, you find yourself making more mistakes. I'm like, oh my god, this thing is, you already feel discouraged because you already know that you have made a mistake. But that was the first mistake I noticed. The other one about the sidewalk, I didn't notice that. It's at the end that he informed me about that. But that turning left and I entered in the second lane, actually what happened was the first lane to the left was so closed that I felt like it was a parking space because it was a business area, and in these business areas there are mostly parking spaces just beside the building. So when I turned, I actually felt like that first lane was a parking space. That's why I turned entering towards the second lane. Oh my god. I saw it. I was like, oh my god. I even said it out. I was like, oh my god, I got into the second lane. He knew it, and I just said it. It just came out like just a reaction, you know. I tried to not make it an issue. So I'm like, Manda, keep calm, keep going. It might not be a big deal. Like I was talking to my mind, like he won't take it serious. Like he won't fail you because of that, right? That was just one mistake. That's what I said to myself. I'm like, okay, keep calm. Don't let this destroy everything. So I'm like, okay. We kept going. He was directing me and I was following it, and everything was cool. For me, I felt like that was my only mistake. We drove all the directions that he sent me through. I followed everything correctly. I knew that was my only mistake. So now we came back to the DMV, and upon entering the DMV, because there's this, you have to turn right or left depending on the direction you're coming from. So we're coming from the right. Yeah, we're coming from the right. So to enter the DMV, we had to enter through the left because it's found at the left side. So when we were turning towards the left, the road is separated into 3. There is ongoing traffic and oncoming traffic, and there is a middle lane which is separated with yellow lines. So there are 2 yellow lines separating the ongoing traffic and oncoming traffic. There are 2 yellow lines on both sides. On the side of the left, it is 2 broken yellow lines, and on the side of the right, it is 2 solid yellow lines. So I was coming from the right and I had to turn left into the DMV. What happens is I enter this middle lane. Meanwhile, on my path, there were 2 yellow solid lines. So this middle lane was for the people coming, the oncoming traffic. They are the only ones who could get into that lane to turn right. But those who are turning left are not supposed to get into that lane. They just have to go straight, and when it's time to turn, to just turn across the line and get to where they are going to. So in my head, I saw those lines like 2 yellow broken lines. I didn't see it as 2 solid lines around my side, and I got into it. What made the instructor actually fail me is because on this same lane, on the oncoming traffic, there was a car coming. So that car got into this lane, and I too got into the lane. So we were like oncoming, and you know, I was turning left, he was turning right. And I wasn't supposed to get into it because I had 2 double solid lines on my side. I'm sure that's why this man said, nah, this girl, you will not do it. You can't. This error, no, you can't. I'm laughing, but I was so sad. I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed because I told you all in my last videos that I want to have this thing just at once. I don't want to fail it. So we went there, I parked. I didn't notice that thing. Oh, talk as a camera. Seriously,
I don't even know.
I didn't notice. I had no idea. Like I saw it like 2 broken yellow lines. I didn't see it as 2 solid yellow lines. I got in there confidently. Oh my God. So we went, I parked. He said, okay, let's get into the DMV, because when you get there, they don't tell you right there that you have passed your fee. You have to get back in. When you get in, I don't know, they get in there, they do some stuff, and then he comes back and calls you and tell you this is it. It's either you failed or you've passed. So I went there. He asked me to sit. I sat, and he said, wait for me for a minute. He went in there, did what he had to do, then came out, called for me. I went and joined him. Then he was like, let me point out some of the errors you made. When we were going out, there was a sidewalk and stuff. So I was like, oh, but I stopped at the stoplight. He was like, yeah, but there's this sidewalk. You don't know, there might be a pedestrian coming, and you have to stop or you have to slow and look at it first before you proceed towards the stop sign. I'm like, okay. So like, he was just, I thought maybe he just wants to point some little things, then tell me you've passed and stuff like that. That's what I was expecting. No, I'm like, okay. Then he says, you know, when we're at 10th Street, he called the street, the number and stuff like that. When I asked to make a left turn, you enter the second lane. That was a lane violation. So that one, I was aware of it. I was like, yeah. Then he was like, I'm sorry you respected speed limits. That was good and stuff like that, but I'm sorry you have to come back the next time to take it again. I'm like, oh, so this man is telling me, like, he's trying to shoot me good points, like, you respected the speed limit, that was good, your lane changes was good, your turns were smooth, but you have to come next time because you violated this lane at this area, you did this, you did that, you did this. And he brings out a book and he's like, if you see these lines, how do you do? He shows me exactly what happened. I told you when we're trying to enter into the DMV department, he shows me, like, if you see 2 double yellow lines, what do? Do you get into or not? I'm like, no, you don't get into, unless it is broken lines and when you want to turn left or right before you get into. He's like, yeah. So this, but actually that's not what you did. When we're coming into the DMV department, you entered into the broken yellow lines. He took me out. We went there. He's like, you see? I'm like, oh, it's not visible. He's like, yeah, it's true. It's not really visible because the lines are kind of died out. They really have to print it out really yellow because I saw it like broken lines. I didn't see that like solid yellow lines. You see the way he announces it to you? Your speed limit was good. Your changing lanes were good. I know maybe he was coming to like, congratulations. Just make sure you work up on checking those pedestrians sidewalk. But he goes on and says, you have to come next time to take the drive test again. You have to come down. I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah, I know you're disappointed. I know. I'm like, yeah, I'm disappointed. Damn. Everything he was saying after that, I was no more with him. I was already in my head. I failed. Yeah. So whatever he was saying that, I was no more in me. I was like, oh, what was in my head is,
Krista, you have failed this thing. You have failed this simple thing. You have failed this thing.
That's what was in my head. So he's like, it's not a big deal. You can take that. Just make sure you drive. Just make sure you respect that. Then he kind of, for your next drive, come, let me show you some little things. That he's like, these yellow lines where he's like this, you don't enter. When it's broken, I know all of those things. I know all of those things. I'm like, but you've told me my errors. I will make sure I respect that next time. So can you just make me to pass? That's what I asked him. He's like, no, sorry. You have to come at the next time. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So it's like, will you want to place an appointment immediately or will you want to go home and do that online? I'm like, yeah, I want to do it immediately. I just wanted to pick the next available date that was there. Because I wanted to do it the next day because I thought it was on the 6th, right? And the 6th was a Monday. A Wednesday. The 6th was a Wednesday. 6th of July, it was a Wednesday. So I wanted to take the next day, which was Thursday, but all of those dates were all occupied. The only next available date was the 18th of July. And I had to pick it, so I just placed the appointment immediately. Because if I was like, I want to wait and you want to know by the time you want to go and place an appointment, the dates are no more available. I just wanted to do it as fast as possible again. So I just placed the appointment immediately after that. I just picked the next available date, which was the 18th of July. And it was at 8:25, my next appointment. So yeah, that was it. I went out. This guy I came with, this is my friend who I went to the department with. He already knew because he told me. I thought he didn't know. I was like, I was just feeling disappointed. I was always feeling me disappointed. Like, I didn't even know how to tell him. Like, I was always feeling like, how would I even inform him? He was the one, he gets up very early in the morning. Like, he comes back from work even as early as 6 and will go driving at 8:30. So he was really taking up his time to teach me. And I come and I fail. So I just felt like bad, so bad. Bad for myself first, bad for his time that he spent teaching me, and all of that. He was the one actually consoling me, like, hey, it's okay, get out of that mood. I know how it can be. People fail the first time. It's not the end of the world. You can do this. It's okay, it's normal. Then he was like, what were your errors? So I told him, feeling of disappointment, I'm sorry. Drinking water to keep my cool. So yeah, I showed him and he was like, it's okay. I'm like, can you drive? I can't drive. I'm not in the mood of driving right now. He started laughing. He's like, I understand. I know. I wasn't in the mood of driving anymore. I gave him the key. I said, please drive. So I went with my car, because when you're driving, at least you should go with a car you have been driving with, that you're comfortable with. I was comfortable with my car. I've been driving with my car. So what was it that made me fail? What was it that made me like uncomfortable? What was it that made me nervous? I don't know. Just that anxiety of taking a test. That's all. Yeah, the nervousness that comes with just taking a test. That's what. Yeah. So that was the first day. That was the first time. That was the experience. That was it. Your girl failed. These little errors, I know them. Well, I've explained to you. When I tell you where I made a mistake, I tell you why I made the mistake. So, and I'll tell you, I was aware. The only one I wasn't aware about this sidewalk, actually, I glanced, but I didn't pay much attention. Meanwhile, he said, you have to pay attention. So, the positive side of everything is you learn. Don't just focus on what was negative. The positive side of everything is you learn from your errors. So now I know when I'm driving, I'm always focusing on, I take my time to slow down or stop around pedestrian sidewalks. You don't want to get yourself involved in accidents. Like, you don't want to die. You don't want to hit someone's child or someone, on the pedestrian walk, as you know that the pedestrians have the right of way, no matter where, no matter how, no matter what time. So even if they are on the wrong, they are having green lights and everything, and they are just crossing the road carelessly, you will be on the wrong. You hit someone down. Pedestrians have the right of way. So always make sure you watch out for pedestrians. Even if you are like green lights in front of you, watch for pedestrians. Yeah. So you learn from your mistakes. Yeah. So I went home. I texted my sister like, it wasn't good. I didn't make it. Yeah. She was like, it's okay. It's not bad. You can take that again. Place an appointment. I'm like, yeah, I already place an appointment again. She's like, yeah, it's fine. People fail that. So many people fail that. So when she came back from work in the evening, we spoke about it. She was like, I told her where I made the mistakes and stuff. So she was like, yeah, so many people have failed just because of that line, those 2 yellow lines. People have been failing because of that. So always, yeah. And that was it for my first drive test failure. Yeah, so that was it for the first time. Driving experience, drive test failed. Second time, the day we had it successfully. Yay! You wanna know about it? Yo!
To be continued.
So this first day that I had to take my drive test, I was feeling, how should I call it? So this day I was trembling, I was anxious, I was scared. What's the name? What's that word that describes it, Oh. I don't know. Maybe we'll take this down. But the sound, we can't. So you have to record fast. So I went there. Where was I don't even know where. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. hit the notification bell after subscribing. So subscribe first, hit the notification bell second. Sorry, tongue tied. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned. Don't forget to like. Please like, comment. What made you stay through till the end? Thank you. Please do that, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thank you. I love you all. Ciao. Bye bye.